Welcome to another episode of Muscle in the Morning, brought to you by Iron Mag Labs. I'm your host, Dave Palumbo, and I'm here to bring you all the latest news in the world of bodybuilding and fitness. It's Monday, April 28th, 2014, and on today's show, Kukla wins Arnold Brazil, then performs CPR on the plane. Danielle Rubin hugs the Oak. Will Big Ramy skip New York Pro? Bethany Cisternino triumphs in Rio. And from Iceland to Rio, Viking dominates the 200-pound dumbbell press. This past weekend's Arnold Brazil left many people wondering how eventual winner Steve Kukla emerged victorious. Many in attendance thought France's Lionel Baiki, who finished fourth, had the total package on Saturday night. Despite the controversial decision, no one can deny that Kukla brought some fantastic conditioning to the stage. Runner-up Juan Morel also displayed phenomenal cuts, and third-place finisher John De La Rosa wowed the crowd with spectacular shape and symmetry. When Muscle in the Morning asked Lionel Baiki what he thought of his fourth-place finish, he said, "All the guys at the Arnold Brazil are champions, and he wants to congratulate Steve Kukla on his win. Baiki will be consulting with his coach, Dennis James, for advice as to whether or not he should compete in Dallas in 2 weeks. Check out rxmuscle.com for complete contest placings, photos, and wrap-up videos." On an added note, Steve Kukla's flight from Rio to Dallas was diverted to Costa Rica due to a woman who collapsed on the plane. When the flight attendants called for help, Kukla, a firefighter and EMT, rushed to the rescue and worked on the woman, trying to revive her. Unfortunately, the woman did not make it, and Kukla and his clan had to spend the night in Costa Rica. Congrats, however, must go to Kukla on his Arnold victory, as well as on the selfless act to help a stranger. IFBB Pro Danielle Rubin may not have won the Arnold Brazil, placing a respectable third, but Arnold Schwarzenegger is definitely not going to forget the hug seen around the world. In a photo published on the RX Muscle Central forums on rxmuscle.com, Schwarzenegger looked stunned when Danielle embraced him on stage, all covered in oil and tan. Sometimes the old saying is true, a photo is worth 1,000 words. The Egyptian phenom Big Ramy continues to train under the watchful eye of Dennis James. Together with a stack of powerful GAT supplements and specialized exercises, one of the biggest freaks in the IFBB is on the fence as to whether or not he'll compete in New York. According to Dennis James, quote, "Big Ramy is still not feeling 100% after battling with a respiratory illness. He will most likely skip the New York Pro." Bethany Cisternino may not have shocked Arnold with an oily hug. However, she certainly dominated the fitness division at the Arnold Brazil, taking home first place and a check for $6,000. Cisternino came in spectacular shape and bested the field with one of the best and most creative routines we've seen from her yet. Stay tuned for bigger and better things from Bethany in the future. Hafthor Bjornsson dominated the Arnold Strongman dumbbell press at the Arnold Brazil, defeating big names such as Brian Shaw, Zydrunas Savickas, and Mike Burke. He performed 13 reps in a 60-second time frame with a 200-pound dumbbell to secure the victory. Hafthor will also be appearing on the HBO series Game of Thrones later this season. However, according to Hafthor, Strongman is now his primary focus. And that does it for yet another edition of Muscle in the Morning, brought to you by Iron Mag Labs. I'm your host, Dave Palumbo, reminding you to always be true to your passions. And remember, follow us on Twitter and Facebook.